What's the most small-town thing you've witnessed?
I lived in a small town. When I moved there, people would ask, "Whose house did you buy?"
A guy robbed a bank and everyone knew immediately who he was and the teller got mad at him.
My town opened a strip club when I was about 18. My friends and I were all pumped to go. For some reason, we thought it'd be strangers stripping and not Judy from math class and the blonde. Aubrey that used to work nights at Wendy's.
When we were kids, my family hated doing any type of shopping with my father. Everyone pretty much knew everyone else, but he used to be a teacher, so he had some sort of relationship with everyone. We'd end up being in a single store for 3 hours because he'd end up catching up with pretty much everyone we encountered.
My fiancé took me to a popular festival in his tiny hometown. Some guy nodded and waved at him on the street. I asked how they knew each other. Fiancé told me he was the only other guy in town with the same name as him also. His dad told him not to sleep with a particular chick because she might be his half-sister.
The traffic on the main street of my town is so sparse. Two drivers going opposite directions can stop and talk to each other for a few minutes without causing any problem.
Left the grocery store and forgot a bag. Another customer brought it to my house.
My dogs got out while I was working. The police called my niece's elementary school. She was a 5th grader, to get her to round them up and take them back home.
Known criminal ran for sheriff. Numerous arrests and convictions over his lifetime. His campaign slogan was, "I know the jail inside and out."
One spring, the front page of the local newspaper's top headline was "Deer finds grass in." The fact that someone had a picture of a deer who found some grass meant that winter might finally be over, which is the big news that everyone cares about.
I'm from a town of less than 2,000 people. When I worked at the grocery store there, people would often drop off stuff for my family members because they didn't want to drive all the way down to our house. I no longer live there but recently got a call from my daughter. She had been stopped for speeding and handed over her license and insurance, which happens to be in my mother's name. The officer goes, "Hey, you're Donnie's granddaughter. I ain't gonna write you a ticket, but I'm telling Donnie when I see him tomorrow 'cause we're going fishing." She replied, "I think I'd rather have the ticket."
Lived in a town of about 5,000. A woman walked into the DMV on a Friday, saw that there were 3 people ahead of her and left to come back another time when they weren't so busy.
A parade that consisted of like 3 goats, and for children.
My grandmother's neighbor just came over with a pie. It wasn't a holiday, they just do that occasionally. I thought that was sweet.
My prom was in a barn.
Oh, freaked out my big city sil when I named all 40-ish people in a diner.
I once competed with other kids to chase and catch a greased pig at a church pig roast. I won my age group.